Welcome back to LRC News, where today we'll be covering the candidates' town hall meeting on Thursday, May 11th. First, here's Cassie with an overview of the more left-side candidate.
On what they would do during their first days in office, both Liberal candidates mentioned giving equality to all minorities and genders and providing equal pay.
Make sure that we have equality for all people, all genders, all minorities, LGBTQ plus groups.
They also agreed on a woman's right to choose for abortion and an affordable, universal healthcare system.
I don't want to say I'm for abortion because that has a very negative connotation. However, I do want to say I am for women, and I'm for women getting the right to choose if they want an abortion or not have an abortion.
I am actually in favor of a single-payer healthcare system.
However, Clark and Anderson had different ideas regarding fixing the economy. Clark mentioned working with smaller businesses, whereas Anderson stated that she would raise the minimum wage in small increments to pull lower-class Americans out of poverty.
Because that's one thing that's really great about our nation is our innovation. And a lot of ideas come from American small businesses. So I would rather work with small businesses rather than large corporations.
It's definitely very important that we raise minimum wage, but I also think there's a certain way we have to go about it.
Clark provided a strong stance on immigration, declaring that the U.S. should issue stricter vetting rules, but not deny access to immigrants. As for terrorism, she said, we should work towards security without infringing on American rights. And Clark stated that she was different from Miss Anderson because she was stronger in foreign policy areas.
I think we're posed with a problem here because everybody wants to come here because we do have the wonderful freedom that we have. I think I would be in favor of more increased screening and some may call it extreme vetting for immigrants.
It appears that these two very similar candidates will have yet another chance to battle it out during Tuesday's national debate.
Next up, we have the two more moderate candidates, Adrian Jules and Michelle Scott. Both candidates highlighted the fact that they believe we need to unite our divided country, but differed as Ms. Scott said she believes more power should be given to the states, and Mr. Jules said he believes we need a stronger federal government.
Well, I think with the state of the nation right now, and the state that we need to build, again, focusing on unity, the federal government needs to be strengthened.
As president, I believe in devolution and bringing power back to the states.
Other main things the candidates hit on were Mr. Jules on terrorism and increased protection, saying that we should have increased surveillance if terrorism is suspected in the states, and Mrs. Scott on abortion, saying the choice should be made by the states in its legality.
I believe that we need to do a better job stepping up and solving the problem. I believe strongly in the Patriot Acts that were passed after 9/11, because if you are suspected of terrorist ties or take actions that would be susceptible to terrorist actions, the government has the right to surveil you.
I don't believe that it is up to me to decide or promote my opinion on whether or not I believe abortion should be legal or illegal. I think that it's up to the American people.
Overall, Mr. Jules took a more personal approach, connecting his own life experiences to his answers of the voters and the media's questions, while Mrs. Scott was more eager to answer a larger variety of questions, including things such as healthcare, Social Security, global warming, manufacturing and jobs in America, and separation in government and between the government and its people.
Having had family, friends, co-workers, people I know that have been affected by these terrorist attacks, I believe strongly in the little man. As a sort of studied entrepreneur, I've talked to people, I've seen businesses grow.
If we don't protect our environment and protect our national parks, we won't have an earth here to live on anymore.
During the most recent town hall meeting, Reagan and May were bombarded with questions primarily concerning things like equal opportunities, military spending reformation, and what some of their main ideas were. Some may think questions about the military spending were answered very similarly by May and Reagan. However, both of them had different ways of providing the military money and different ideas of what they should be spent on. May believes that other programs deemed unnecessary should be cut from the overall budget, and that money be put towards the expanding our presence into different areas. Reagan has created his own new committee that he is calling the Senate Appropriations on Military Spending Committee. This committee will deem what expenditures on the military are unnecessary and put that money into manufacturing more ships, planes, guns, and other gear.
But my main thing is to focus on the military spending because no one likes to sit back and just, yet again, take that slap to the face.
Okay, well, you know what? So we got this committee, right? We got a subcommittee called the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Defense. And
another hot topic at the debate was abortion and women's right to privacy. May believes that a woman should be able to choose what she wants, as it's her body and her child. Reagan despises the idea of abortion, as he considers it to be the murder of a human child. Under different circumstances, such as when the mother is in immediate danger, he can see that abortion may be necessary and proper.
Abortion, it's a very, very hot topic. But personally, I do not think abortion is morally right at all. Abortion, it's just very, like, to me personally, it's just very, like, it's not okay with me that people think that it's okay to kill a baby.
When it comes down to the economic state of our country, such as minimum wage, Reagan's first answer seemed very unprepared, but after regaining his frame of mind, he delivered a strong answer, stating that raising the minimum wage from $7.15 to $15 an hour would put plenty of major companies out of business, and would lead to the unemployment rate spiking. Whether or not he wanted to raise the wage at all, no answer was given.
It's a very complicated issue as well. Really what I want to do is, like, as I've talked about in my introductory speech, we're going to need a lot of jobs.
Companies are allowed to raise the minimum wage. There's a point when you need to raise it depending on the situation.
From an outside source, most people think our two leading conservative candidates are identical. Upon closer inspection, we can see that they do in fact have different views. Hopefully at the upcoming debate, they can show the conservative voters their different values and reel in some devoted fans.
Additionally, people have also taken notice to some of John F. Reagan's behaviors during the meeting. He often had plainly visible reactions to what other candidates were saying as they spoke in front of the crowd, and tended to consult with members in his party while other candidates were answering questions.